Hi, Bobbie Thompson here with Crochet Guru, and welcome back to my Learn How to Crochet series. Now in lesson number 7, I'm going to show you how to change yarn color at the beginning or end of a crocheted row. And keep in mind that with this lesson I'm going to be using the single crochet stitch, but the technique that I use for this stitch is also used for all of the other crochet stitches as well. And I'm actually going to go into a little bit more detail on that a little bit later in this lesson. So don't worry about what that means right now. Okay, so before we get started, I just wanted to review that in lesson number 6, we just learned how to single crochet. So in this lesson, I'm going to continue with my single crochet on my last row before I change color. Okay, so I'm just completing these last 3 single crochets, but in the very last stitch, we don't want to complete or finish your single crochet when you're changing colors. So go ahead and push through the stitch, yarn over, pull through. There should be 2 loops on your hook. Now we're not going to complete this because we're going to change color now. So go ahead and drop your first color and pick up your second color. And I chose the color red because it shows up easily on camera. And I'm again using a yarn called Red Heart. Okay, so with your new color, go ahead and fold the yarn in half, leaving about 4 inches of yarn on the tail or loose end. So pinch the 2 ends together with your thumb and index finger, and this will make it easier for you to grab it with your hook and pull the new color of yarn through the 2 loops that were left on your hook with the last color. Okay, so before we move on, just know that we're not tying the new color into a slip knot. We're just folding it in half and pulling it through the 2 loops that were already attached to your piece with the last color. Okay, so after you pull the new color through, take your scissors and cut the old color's attached strand of yarn, leaving about 4 inches left. So now what you want to do is go ahead and grab the strand of yarn that you just cut and pull on it to tighten the new color into place. You'll also want to adjust the new color by just pulling on both ends. So you'll want to pull, what I'm doing is I'm just pulling on the red strand of yarn and on the blue one together, so that way it will adjust that new color into place. Okay, so go ahead and chain 1 with your new color and then turn your work around. Now make sure after you turn your work around that you grab your loose ends of yarn and hold them together on the back of your work. Now what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet over both of these loose strands of yarn. So go ahead and just single crochet over the loose strands of yarn, and you can either continue to just keep crocheting over these ends of yarn, or when you feel safe, you can go ahead and cut the strands of yarn. But what I would do before you do that is make sure you at least single crochet over these strands 6 to 8 times. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just go ahead and take my scissors and cut those remaining strands of yarn right there, or what's left over. Okay, so I'm just going to continue crocheting, and what I'm going to do is I am going to crochet 4 rows of red, and then I will meet you back here and demonstrate how to change color one more time so that you feel good about doing it on your own. Okay, so here we are. I'm just going to finish off with my last single crochet, and then in the very last stitch we're not going to finish or complete that last single crochet. We're just going to yarn over, pull it through, and have 2 loops left on your hook. Okay, so go ahead and cut that strand of yarn. Grab your new color, fold it in half, again leaving about 4 inches. Now pinch that top end and pull it right through those 2 loops that were left on your hook. Go ahead and pull tightly on both the blue and the red yarn, or whatever colors you choose to use. And when you're ready, go ahead and chain 1. Now we always want to chain 1 when we single crochet, but in this case the chain 1 is actually going to lock that new color into place. Okay, again, so make sure you turn your work around, grab those 2 loose ends, and then just crochet right over the top of those. Okay, so now I hope you're feeling confident about changing yarn color at the end of your row, but there is something that I want to review. Anytime that you change color at the beginning or end of a row, and this is something that we've already worked on, you always want to work your last crochet stitch to the last 2 loops on your hook. And again, this is something that we've done. But I want you to know that whether you're working a triple crochet or a double crochet or a single crochet like the one we just did, you always want to work the last stitch only to the last 2 loops. You never want to completely finish the last stitch when you're changing color. Okay, so here's my finished dishcloth, and just in case you were wondering, I have 29 stitches across and I have 28 rows going up and down. So this dishcloth is relatively small. If you want your dishcloth to be a little bit bigger, I'd probably go with 36 rows instead. Now on your dishcloth, you're still going to have these loose ends on the very top and on the very bottom. And in the next lesson, lesson number 8, I'm going to show you how to weave these ends in so that they'll stay and won't fall out. Thank you so much for watching my lesson number 7, and I hope to see you again for lesson number 8.